Well, welcome to Real Talk with Chuck and Pam. We are sitting here looking at a chocolate frosted chocolate brownie and a chocolate chip muffin.
Yeah, I remember, when I was younger, hearing older people say, "Oh, I just can't eat anymore. I don't know what to eat," or I look at food and I gain weight, and I'm like, that can't be so. It's
a true thing.
It's so. I mean, it's like your metabolism as you get older. Jesus Christ.
Well, I think our activity level goes down because our energy goes down.
Well, I know, but still.
Yeah.
Penn and Teller, the magician group. Mm-hmm. Penn, the tall guy.
Yeah.
And I think I've talked to you about this. We've talked about intermittent fasting. Mm-hmm. Which I do, and it helps a little bit. I'm not completely a blubbering mass, but it helps a little bit.
I think it helps initially for like the first maybe month or two, and then I think your system gets used to it.
Well, I think then you have to elongate the period that you don't eat. But Penn eats 1 hour a day. That's it.
Well, he used to be a pretty heavy guy.
He was a big guy, but he's gotten down to where he'll eat just 1 hour out of the day. I think he said like between 3 and 4. And when I first read it, I'm like, oh, there's no way. But lately, I'm thinking I could maybe do it.
Really?
Because it seems as though anymore after I eat something, I'm full forever.
Oh my God.
Full forever.
Love food. I have a
that's
relationship
the problem.
with food. I mean, I
love food
it.
Too. Yeah.
My life revolves around food. Mm-hmm. Where are we going to go for dinner? It's a very social thing.
I know.
And then there's like a habitual thing that goes along with that as well. Like when I'm watching a movie, I need to be crunching on something. I love popcorn.
It's ingrained.
Mm-hmm. And I can't imagine. Yeah, I don't know. Can't do it. Couldn't do it. 1 hour a day.
So you want the muffin or the brownie?
I'm going to have the muffin.
Okay. Sounds good.
Just a half, though.
All right. Just a half.
My mother would say, just a splash or just a bite or just a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then the whole thing would be gone. Because if you break it up into little pieces and eat it little by little, it's not a whole thing.
If you say so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Math is my forte.
We tell ourselves what we want to tell ourselves. Yeah. And we're going to tell you guys about 2 movies and a TV show this week. One, a pleasant surprise. One, a big disappointment. And one, I'm on the fence on.
Okay. Let's go with the disappointment first. It's always more fun to like rake something over the coals.
Yeah, and the expectations have been so high for Doctor Strange 2, or Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, as it is titled.
I was so excited about this. I was like,
no, you weren't.
Jumping up and down. I couldn't wait.
Bullshit.
I was in line
you
early.
You were dreading the ride to Chicago. Don't tell me you were excited about it. I know you weren't.
I was not. Mm-hmm. You know me.
I know you.
I was not. However, I was actually, as the superhero movie things go, kind of looking forward to it because, much to my surprise, I really liked Spider-Man No Way Home. Is that the name of it?
Correct.
Where Benedict Cumberbatch plays Doctor Strange. And I had fun with this movie, and I really had a lot of fun with his character and what he brought to the table. He brought magic, he brought fun, he brought humor, he brought sarcasm. He was like the whole thing.
See, I know you never will, but you need to go back and watch the first Doctor Strange movie. Because he has all of that there. No, really, he has all of that there. And it's really one of the better standalone films.
Okay.
I mean, this guy is completely arrogant, the surgeon and everything, and he gets taken down a notch when he has a horrible car accident.
When is that one from? What year?
2016, 2017, someplace in there.
Did I watch it?
I don't know. You probably did.
You probably did.
You probably... Okay, well then, that's enough of that. I'll tell you one thing. I won't be watching Doctor Strange 2 again.
No.
And I think the problem is, again, the expectations. And you mentioned Spider-Man No Way Home. You had just this incredible premise of bringing all 3 of the Spider-Men together and announcing this whole thing that, no, it's not just separate actors. These are all 3 separate characters, and they're in different universes. And so that just opens the door to all the possibilities. I mean, I went into Doctor Strange 2 thinking I was going to see different versions of Iron Man and different versions of Hulk and all the standby heroes.
Right.
That doesn't happen. And I think they really missed a huge opportunity with this film. And I think another big problem with there's no story here.
No, there's not.
There is no story here.
Well, and I knew I was in trouble because the first scene is like this explosion chase scene thing. So I knew that if you're starting with the climax of an event, you're not going anywhere because you just started with that.
And not only that, they start with that, and then they follow with another one.
Yeah.
The first 20, 25 minutes is nothing but action, and we're not quite sure what's going on. It's ridiculous. And they know they don't have a story. Here's the story, gang. Here's the story.
I'm going to time you. How long will it take you to say the story? Go ahead.
Okay.
Go.
Wanda from WandaVision, the lovely, of course, Elizabeth Olsen, she didn't learn her lesson in WandaVision, and she wants to have be a mother, have 2 kids. So she is looking throughout the multiverse to see which world she can go to in order to do this. A new character, America Chavez, I don't know where that comes from. She pops up and she has the ability to travel through multiverses, and Wanda wants that power. Doctor Strange, of course, knows Wanda is unstable and sets out to stop her from doing that.
Okay, so America.
That's what I got.
And that's what it is. That is the whole story.
That's the story.
So America Chavez isn't like this superhero that you knew about?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
No.
I didn't know about her either.
She is a new creation for the film.
Okay.
Yeah, no, she doesn't exist in the comics.
Okay, so you didn't know about her, and I don't think the writers knew to actually create lines for her because I think she had maybe 3 lines the whole movie.
That poor actress.
I know,
She
right?
does a fine job. And I can't pronounce her name. But yeah, young girl.
Yeah, she's
Great job.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's given nothing to do.
She does a great job in doing nothing, basically. She runs and she looks scared. That's what she does the entire movie.
She's the damsel in distress.
Which really pisses me off
Yeah,
when I see that
I agree.
shit, you know?
I agree. However, Rachel McAdams is back, which I love her. They don't use her enough.
No.
But it reminded me, and again, I know you won't go back and watch the first one, the chemistry they have is really good. In the first film and here, but they don't have enough scenes together.
Well, what a wonderful love story to think that, the love of your life got away in this universe, but maybe in another universe you're together, or in another universe something else happens.
Exactly.
I mean, what a cool premise. Not there.
It's not there.
Didn't go there. They have a little glimmer like, oh, cool, we're getting some. No, we're not getting anywhere on that one.
Yeah. There is a major surprise, though. I will say that. I don't know how they kept that surprise a secret. I was stunned. I was very happy. It was the highlight of the film.
I didn't quite get it.
I was the only one who cheered. And I'm like, you guys are idiots. Don't be snobby, because you wanted this moment too. And you said in your screening that people clapped.
Oh, yeah. People, it was, okay, so when Chuck and I go to these screenings that are critics only, there are a lot of comic book nerds in there. And so there's a whole big group of people, and I won't say whole big group of us because I do not put myself into the comic book nerd group, because I'm not. And these people come on, these characters come on, and it's like, woohoo! Like there's this guy from, can I say this?
No.
No? Okay,
No.
so there's this guy that appears, and everyone's like, oh, and they're clapping and cheering. I'm like, what?
I'll explain it afterwards.
Well, I mean, I got it, but it's still
There you go.
okay, all right, whatever.
There you go.
All right.
But the film needed more moments like that. I wanted to see more characters.
I needed a story. Give me a story.
I agree. But if you're not going to give me a story, and you're opening up this possibility of the multiverse and different variations of different characters running around, I need to see that. And we didn't see that.
Yeah, see, and I like it when they can have a superhero movie that can appeal to everybody. So then it placates the people who love superheroes, and then it enables us, the rest of us folks, to enjoy it as well. So it's not a hard ask.
Well, I think it is a hard ask at this point, because we're 27 movies in.
Oh my God.
And 4 TV,
I am not going to do the math on that.
And 4 television series is into this thing. I think if you haven't jumped on at this point, I don't see how anyone could enjoy these if you're coming in completely fresh.
Well, you could enjoy bits and pieces. The Shazam movie, that was a standalone kind of movie.
Well, but that's a DC one.
whatever. They're all the same to me. I know that's horrible. It's probably like fingernails down the chalkboard to you and everybody else listening, but it's superhero. So let's just put it under the superhero umbrella.
Yes.
And under the umbrella, we have DC and Marvel. And I know that Tim, if you're listening, you wanted to do a spreadsheet flow chart for me when we're on the radio station with you. And Chuck, you never did it for me. So it's all scrambled.
I want you to do your flow chart
Oh, I do.
sheet of all of the superheroes and how they put together. That would be hilarious.
All right, I will work on that during my trip. I'm going to be off next week, so I'll work
sure
on that.
You will.
I'll work
on the
on
plane.
that. On the plane.
Yeah, the problem is these films have grown stale. They've become slaves to the template that they've set up. These movies, you can set your watch to them as far as the dramatic beats and when the battles are coming and blah blah blah. They've grown stale, and really, probably you could say that they've been growing stale for a while. But what's the difference then between the Spider-Man film, which I liked, Shang-Chi, which I liked, and this one, which I thought was dull, and Black Widow, which didn't work, and The Eternals, which was a disaster.
Right.
I mean, you're following the same template. What's the difference? And I think the difference is, as you're pointing out, solid writing. And this does not have that. No. I don't think there's ever a lack of conviction as far as performances are concerned. I think that all these people are firmly entrenched in this. There's never the notion that they're skimping on the budget. The films all look great.
No. Yeah,
I mean, they look fantastic.
Yeah, special effects are incredible in this movie.
They're unreal.
Although I have to say, I tried to put so I'm removed from the movie if I'm thinking about this kind of stuff while I'm watching the movie.
Exactly, that's the problem.
So Benedict Cumberbatch is doing all this, and you're not going to see me, so I'm going to describe what I'm doing, this hocusy-pocusy stuff with his hands.
Yeah, that's what you do.
It just looked so ridiculous. I thought, how does he feel while he's doing that?
I'm sure he thinks of his paycheck, and he's fine with it.
What is the Texas Longhorn sign?
If you go back and you look at them, his the combination of fingers will change depending on the spell.
Okay. All right, because I always just saw it as, wow, maybe he's like a UT fan.
I don't know. No. Yeah, but can you imagine them doing all this stuff on, where there's none of the special effects?
Right.
But again, I'm sure they're thinking of their paychecks and residuals and things like that. But.
And you know what? If they offered me a ton of money, I'd do the same thing.
So next one out of the gate will be Thor. And
yes, and I'm excited. That I am.
You like that director.
I do.
I wasn't as crazy about Thor Ragnarok as everyone else was. I thought it was fine. But
I thought it was good, but I think it could have been better. I think Taika Waititi is at a point in his career now that he will have carte blanche to do what he wants to do.
Sure.
And I think he's going to bring so much humor into this.
I think he did with the last one.
I don't think he had carte blanche with that. I think he was relegated into the, we got to have an explosion now.
Well, you've got to do that. I mean, come on, it's a superhero film.
I know.
But I mean, there wasn't a Marvel film as funny as that one up until that point. I mean, that has his earmarks all over it. So that one will be a different thing. Hopefully I can wrap my head around it.
I wish that Taika Waititi and Kenneth Branagh would co-direct it. Because then we would get that lofty Shakespearean stuff, which is what he brought to the table, that first Thor.
Right.
And that's why Thor talks the way that he does. And then if you throw Taika Waititi's humor into it, I think that would be a grand combination. Are you all choked up over that concept?
I'm all choked up, and I'm going to show you something here as you talk. You talk about Thor's Shakespearean speech and things of that nature. In the comic book, when he talks, they have a special font.
Oh, do they?
That they do. Yeah, that they do. That so that it looks more regal, I guess I should say. I'll try and find something to show you if you want to go on to the next film. But yeah, both disappointed in what was that?
What was it?
Oh yeah, Doctor Strange 2.
Yep, that was it.
Doctor Strange.
I was thinking Memory. No, that was last week's movie. That was a disappointment. I remember that. How's that doing on Rotten Tomatoes, by the way?
I think it's below 20%.
Okay, all right. So the next movie was a pleasant surprise. It's called The Duke, and it's Sony Sony Pictures Classics. I always reverse that. And it's based on a true story, and it stars Jim Broadbent and Helen Mirren. And when you put those two names together in a sentence, that just means you need to go see this movie, because you are not going to be, oh, Chuck just showed me. Oh, it is. It's like Old World.
Yeah, Old World font there for wherever Thor talks.
Okay.
It's kind of cool.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to guess that Kenneth Branagh was a fan of
the font, yes.
And saw the font and thought, that makes me think of Shakespearean times, so I'm going to bring Shakespeare into this. And he is a Shakespearean actor and director.
And again, I'm sure that Mr. Branagh's big paycheck helped him too. But back to a completely different movie, The Duke.
The Duke. It's based on a true story about a man named Kempton Bunton, and that's who Jim Broadbent plays. And he's a 60-year-old taxi driver, bread baker. I mean, he's got a slew of different jobs.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Totally not master of anything. He's married to his adorable wife, played by Helen Mirren, and he fights the battle for the little people and for the old people of England, because they're being taxed. This is 1961, people. 1961, there were taxes from the BBC. You couldn't watch television unless you were taxed. And boy,
had to pay a special thing. A special license.
A licensing fee. And did this ever piss him off? So he tried to skirt around it, and then he realized that he's going to pull a heist. He is going to steal this Goya Duke of Wellington painting from the National Museum.
And remember, this is the target for him because the government bought it.
Right.
You know, so that's their tax dollars used to buy this painting.
I had forgotten that aspect. And so he's going to basically steal it, and he'll return it when the government releases the whole taxing issue on television. This is a quirky, charming movie that is just a surprising delight to watch. I enjoyed every moment from start to finish. We know he gets caught because the first scene is at the courthouse where he is entertaining the entire jury and the judge. And we go back in time when we find out exactly what got him to this point in time. I just had so much fun with this movie. Jim Broadbent is having fun with it, and Helen Mirren is having fun, which means we are having fun watching it. And I believe it is a first-time writer. Is that right? I'll have to check on that, but I believe that it is. But this is just such a surprising delight, indie kind of film. It is playing in theaters. I'm sure it'll be on VOD in the next few weeks. So if it's not playing at a theater near you, it will be on VOD shortly.
There's so many little moments in this movie that I love. And throwaway things that just crack me up. He mentions a book that he wrote because he wants to be a writer too. And
that's right. He's a playwright. He's a playwright.
But he also wrote a novel, and he mails it off, and he says to the person at the post office, he's like, imagine if Jesus was a woman. And then name of the book is The Adventures of Susan Christ. That is priceless. That is priceless. It's just little things like that throughout the movie. And of course, Broadbent. He really he's walking a wire here. Because this guy's an eccentric, but he never plays him as a fool.
No.
He never plays him as a fool. And that would be the most obvious tack to take with this. And I think that's the whole key to the film.
It's sharp.
He's not a fool. This is a man he's still searching for where he belongs, even in this late in life.
What does he want to do when he grows up?
Exactly. And that he's still figuring that out. And then we also learn that there's, some history with the marriage.
Yeah, and a tragedy within the family.
And something that they've never talked about, he and his wife, and something that, is hanging over them. And that, I think, has something to do with his behavior as well.
Well, and it wasn't that part of one of his stories that he was writing?
The play that the wife finds.
And crushing. And you can see, and the relationship between the wife and he is quite interesting, too. I mean, she gets exasperated with him. Yeah. Yet she loves him unconditionally. Yeah. Because when she finds out what he did, she's not happy.
Yeah, and the thing was, and it has a nice twist as well. Has a nice third act twist. It's so out of left field that I didn't believe it. And then it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. This makes sense now. Yeah. Now I get it. And then it makes, of course, you have to look back at the entire film, and it casts everything in a different
It
light.
does, doesn't it?
Yeah. And so I really love that. This reminded me a lot at the end of the old Frank Capra films, where you have, the innocent guy who all the cynics look down on, and then they finally get the spotlight, like Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, or Mr. Deeds Goes to Town is what this reminded me of, the courtroom scene. And he just explains why he did what he did.
Right.
And it's all just common sense stuff. Love your neighbor. This is why I did it. Yeah, and everyone's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. and it just was really a nice throwback to those films in that last act.
Yeah, so definitely seek this one out. If it is not playing near you, then hold tight, because I'm sure it'll be on VOD soon.
I do know that locally, kind of.
In Champaign
It's
here?
in Decatur.
Oh, it's in Decatur. Okay.
Yeah.
And how far is Decatur from Champaign?
35 minutes.
Not bad.
And they got good popcorn down there at the
Do they?
Avon Theater.
Any dinner places nearby? Any restaurants?
It's Decatur.
Okay. Popcorn. Popcorn sounds good.
Popcorn for dinner. There you go.
So those are our two big movies that are opening this week. There might be another couple of smaller ones that we didn't see at this point.
Right.
Are there?
No, this is it.
This is it?
Everyone
Okay.
clears the deck when Marvel,
Oh, that's so very true.
makes a date.
So that was bold of the Duke to come out.
Counter
But-
programming.
Well, and I mean, definitely, I would go see the Duke. You would go see.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and then we want to talk a little bit about TV, because TV is really blending into the whole film thing. We've got a 7-episode series called Under the Banner of Heaven, based on the John Krakauer book, streaming on Hulu, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And FX.
And FX. Okay, so Hulu and FX are a part
I
of
don't
each other?
know. I don't
get so
know.
confused. Like the whole NBC Peacock and then Hulu too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
I need a flow chart for that too. I think my whole life just needs to be flow charted.
I agree.
This is an intriguing story based on a murder, a real murder that happened in Salt Lake City. I think it was in American Fork, Utah. And I mean, if any of you know anything about Utah, it is the capital of Mormonism. Most people who live in the area are Mormon, and they have the Mormon religion is a unique religion. And this, I'm watching Chuck cut with a plastic fork through saran wrap that he has balled up. You will not be able to do that without getting chocolate on your freshly cleaned suit coat.
Keep reviewing the show.
Okay. Andrew Garfield plays the main character. He is the detective in this horrific murder that has taken place in one of the homes of his brothers and sisters. Now, everyone within the church is called a brother or a sister. It's not an actual familial relationship. And a woman is murdered, and as well as her daughter. They suspect that it is the husband that has done it because he appears to have a lot of blood on him. This becomes a murder mystery as well as a historical representation of the Mormon Church and its origins. Reading the book, they started off with this brutal murder, much in the way that this TV series does. And then the next chapter was the origins of Mormon Latter-day Saints and what's his name?
Brigham Young.
No, the guy.
John Smith.
Yes, John Smith, and how he looked into his hat and saw 3 stones, and he was able to write this book of Mormon. It's hilarious. Have you ever seen the South Park?
I have.
One?
I have.
Okay.
And as I was watching this,
Did you see him look in the hat?
yeah, but as I was watching this, I was looking up, okay, what's the story? I kind of know the story.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh God,
Yeah.
really? Yeah.
So they do a nice job, actually, of bringing in that historical part of it through storytelling within the contemporary. And that was kind of cool how they blended the two together so that you get that history as well as who killed this woman, who was this woman, what is her background, and right now signs are pointing to it's someone within the Latter-day Saints Church and higher up. We don't know this, but that's where the signs are pointing. And in all honesty, I don't remember that much of the book. I remember all the Mormon parts because I thought it was really pretty entertaining. The it really is. I mean, come on. This is in Palmyra, New York, which is next to Elmira, New York, which is where my husband is from Helmira, New York, which is what I called it affectionately. I mean, just really, I mean, think about it. You find some stones, you think, oh, I'm going to have God tell me that it's okay to have more than one wife.
Well,
because that works out really well for me.
And not only that, but they find a text, or they find something that they translate, and it's some sort of writings that Jesus did, or Jesus was in America or something.
Right.
God, Well, there's 3 stories going on here. Like you say, the investigation, the flashback for the history thing, and then, of course, the investigation into the family of the suspect. I just thought every time the show flashed back to the history of the Mormon thing, it lost steam for me.
Okay.
It took me out of the story, because in my mind, the investigation is fascinating. How crazy these people is fascinating.
Right.
I know they're drawing, connection between, this is why they think the way they think, because of the history of the Mormons.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm on the fence on this one, but I'm going to stick with it. Because I like the fact that the Garfield character who is investigating this is starting to doubt his own religion.
Right.
I find that fascinating.
And yes, that is an extremely fascinating aspect of it. We've got to wrap things up. We've got to go on WCIA CI Living TV. So check it out. Let us know what you think about this new HULU series, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yep. Take care.